Alrighty, I think that is everything. Let me just turn you off real quick. All right, so I want to start things off by saying I I I uh I watched the entirety of Chicken Little after seeing this video by Saberspark, and this pissed me off so much because people keep saying this about Buck. They keep saying that Buck is like the worst dad in one of the worst cartoon dads. You know, he's a really bad cartoon dad, which he's not the best dad, but you know. So I left a comment. I don't think anybody actually watched Chicken Little because calling his dad one of the worst cartoon dads of all time is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen. And I said that before I even rewatched Chicken Little because I've seen Chicken Little so many times and he's not actually a terrible father. And I'm going to prove it to you. I want to begin with what Saberspark says um, about Buck. I'm not going to play any audio, so I'll sort of just run you through it. But so he basically said, where is the part? Where is it? Okay, so he's saying that Buck's love is conditional and in the worst kind of way, which is either make me look good or stay out of my life type thing. And then you have the whole incident with Chicken Little getting hit by the panel and and Buck comes in, he says, you know, he starts, you know, talking to the people at the townspeople, you know, and Saberspark makes it seem like that Buck is trying to smooth things over with the townspeople instead of supporting his son or doing it for his own personal image. And I'll show you why I'll tell you why that's wrong in a minute. But so here, rather than trying to hear him out or defend his son, Buck tries to smooth things over with the public to save his own skin. Uh, he cares way too much about what other people think and how things look in public, which I suppose he does seem a little too much. He does seem a little more on the side of don't make things look worse for you or you know shit like that. But again, I'll get into all the details soon. We're going to talk about this scene too, and there's just also this part where Saberspark says that he doesn't want his son um at the baseball game because he sucks and it'll publicly embarrass him. And Tabak appearances are everything. He's only supportive of Chicken Little when he achieves something that also makes him look good. But nobody, but that part is just that just sounds like it came out out of Saberspark's ass because nowhere is it implied that Chicken Little winning the game makes Buck look good. The only thing it really does is make Chicken Little look good. I mean, yeah, Buck had the whole, you know, the sports career. I don't know, but Buck had a whole uh cr- baseball career, but Chicken Little is the only one that gets attention from winning that game. He's the only one that gets any attention from winning that game. Oh yeah, and he shits on this scene and like, oh my god, dude. No, absolute bullshit. Absolute crock of shit. That scene, I watched it in full and is like, that was like, I felt, that scene felt so good. And he's like, and he mentions this Disney post, family's there for you when the sky is falling. It's like, oh, he gets so pissed off at this, like, oh, that's not true type shit. But if you've ever watched the fucking movie, you know that at the end, Buck is 100% behind Chicken Little because of their talk at the. So the resolution wasn't empty because Buck actually realizes that what he's done is wrong and he needs to be 100% behind his son. So he has some character development. So Saberspark doesn't know what he's talking about. I think that's the only thing he says. Let me just. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So, okay. So that's all he has to say about Buck. So that made me think back to everybody saying that Buck is a terrible father, and I just want to I have a whole host of notes here that I'm just going to run through. And yes, don't tell anyone, but I'm pirating Chicken Little. Shush. Shush. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning here. Let me just mute this. Let's go back to the beginning. Fuck off. So right here, we see that Chicken Little is on the Let me go back. He's on the tower. The I think it's top of the school or the top of the town hall or something. But the giant bell, he's ringing it. He's ringing it. He's ringing it. It's the alarm bell. Everybody's running around. You know, they're screaming. They're panicking. Alarms are going. You know, you got the fire people running around. And wow, you're really just gonna do that? Okay, hold on. So this incidentally causes a lot of property damage. And as you can see in a glimpse here, this giant water tower gets knocked off and starts crushing shit. Look, see? Look there. Look, yeah. Look at that. Boom. Just absolute destruction here. And he says, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And, you know, everybody's rushing to him to hear him out. But where's the piece of the sky? See, he has no proof that the sky is falling. So reasonably, as everybody's standing there, they're like, this kid must be crazy. Because the sky isn't falling. Hell is not breaking loose. Like, everything's calm. This kid just caused, like, thousands of dollars in property destruction, not directly but indirectly, and he has no proof that the sky's fallen. Well, he was sitting. Apparently, he was sitting under this acorn tree. Right, he was sitting on it, and then the acorn falls on his head. So now they're like, well, he must have been mistaken. He must have mistaken it for an acorn. Because people do that. People jump to conclusions. And yes, later on we find out that he was right, but this is all the information these people have. So Buck comes in, he immediately gets on it. He's immediately like, okay, but you see that he was listening, everybody was listening to Chicken Little until the acorn fell. And that's because now they're all thinking this kid must have mistaken the acorn for a piece of the sky. Now Buck takes the charge here, in what I can only assume as a way to help protect Chicken Little. And the only way you can really do that is to convince everybody that everything is okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because If Buck goes on and be like, wait a second, everybody. My son isn't crazy. I believe him. The sky's falling. He just got hit on his head. Everybody's gonna think Buck's crazy too. They're both going to be outcasts. So the best thing Buck can do in this moment, and the thing I would do too, is to try to alleviate the situation for the both of us. Try to get everyone to calm down, think it was just a misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. See, there's been like a little mistake. It was just an acorn that hit my son, a little acorn. And he quiets it, and he quiets him because he's constantly trying to, interrupt. This is embarrassing enough already. It's embarrassing for the both of them. Chicken Little, Buck probably knows that Chicken Little is going to be ostracized. They're both going to be ostracized if they run with this story. They're going to look crazy. Why put your town's safety in jeopardy right here? Chicken Little, just put his town safety in jeopardy over what they think is an acorn hitting him on the head. Or at worst, they think or if they didn't think it was an acorn, they would have thought it was a stop sign that hit him on the head. I mean, come on. So, and then he just goes into mumbling mode. He does this a lot. He goes into mumbling mode a lot. Chicken Little just mumbles and he can't get a thought across, and that helps. He is not making it better for himself by mumbling. He's just making himself look even more crazy. But you see here, Saberspark said was wrong because Buck wasn't making Chicken Little out to be crazy. He wasn't calling him crazy. He just said it was a mistake and that an acorn hit him in the head. See, that I think this is what Saberspark was mistaken. He wasn't calling Chicken Little crazy. He said kids do crazy stuff, which is true. It's true if you ever seen kids, okay? If you've ever had kids. I don't think Saberspark has kids because he said kids do crazy stuff. Not that he wasn't calling Chicken Little crazy. Okay. What else was in my notes? Okay. So it goes right into this next part. Hold on, where is it? I don't have a timestamp for this, so I'm just gonna have to skip through it, but so here he says, don't call attention to yourself. Well, you might think that it's because, Buck is being selfish here, but no, it's not true. That's not true. See, the first time I saw this scene, I was like, my thought was, he's trying to protect Chicken Little. You do that by being, and he's right, because he is saying, don't make a scene, don't be crazy, don't act crazy, stay low. That's what you do. There's still heat on him even a year later over this incident. It's a small town. So you stay low to avoid more ostracization. Like, because of that incident, Chicken Little is constantly being bullied and ridiculed by the townspeople. Buck here is looking after his child. Like, yeah, he's not being like, motherly about it, but he's looking after his child. All right. So that's the end of that. I have another timestamp here. And let's just notice from the beginning of the movie around the 1 to 2 minute mark up to this 5 minute mark, Buck hasn't been aggressive or aggressive towards Chicken Little or even insulting Chicken Little at whatsoever here. So he's not being verbally abusive, and he's just trying to protect his son. I mean, what more can you ask for out of a father? Let's go to the timestamp I have here. It's like it's right after. It's right here. See, all he says is thank you for talking to me. I'll take care of my son. Then they go, and by the way, he's not like, he is disappointed, but he's disappointed because Chicken Little pulled the fire alarm at school. You're always going to get, one, you're always going to get in trouble for pulling the fire alarm, and two, your parents are always going to be disappointed that you pulled the fire alarm because you're not supposed to pull the fire alarm unless there's an actual emergency. So then they have this talk where Chicken Little's like, I want to do the baseball. Now, there's going to be a lot of subtlety here. And I think that's what confuses people. Because you might say that Buck is being like this because he doesn't want secondhand embarrassment from Chicken Little failing baseball team. But I think it's because he's worried about Chicken Little's health because he's small. Think about it. Because because before this before because he said, Chicken Little says, oh wait, hold on. Let me go back a second real quick. Son, we talked about this. Yeah, right, but that was when I was small. Not a year ago, we talked about this when I was small. Chicken Little is still small too. So I think he is worried about Chicken Little going into baseball because he's worried that his son will get hurt due to being small, maybe bullied for going into baseball. I don't think it's malicious whatsoever or self-serving as to why he's apprehensive about Chicken Little going into baseball. I put on 5 ounces this year. I really bulked up. But you see, he's not talking about, oh, I'm not going to embarrass you, Dad. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good this time. His chat is all about bulking up, and being having more weight to his bones, you know. And so I don't think there's anything to do with embarrassment or my son's gonna fail baseball and I'm gonna be and the town's gonna bully me for it or something. See, and he says, have you considered the chess team or the glee club? That's something you only say if you're worried about your son's physical health, right? I mean, like, if you were a sports parent, you'd be more embarrassed about your only son I being in a chess team or glee club more than them wanting to follow in your footsteps and be a baseball player. I mean, come on. This doesn't make any sense. He's worried about Chicken Little's ability to even play baseball or him possibly getting hurt by playing baseball. I mean, look how tiny he is. Look, And then later in the baseball scene, in the actual baseball scene, the helmet barely fits on his head. It swallows his head whole. And I think he says this right here. Just please try not to get your hopes too high. I think he says that because he's worried that because of Chicken Little's um small stature, he might not be able to cut out for baseball. Cuz look at it. Chicken Little really wants to play baseball, right? But he's small. He might not be able to really play baseball. So if he loses because he's not able to really play, then he's worried that his Chicken Little might not be. He's worried that Chicken Little not may get disappointed that he won't be able to live up to the standards by not being able to really play baseball. But you notice that Buck never really denies Chicken Little playing baseball. I mean, yeah, he's like, oh, I don't think that's right for you, but he doesn't say, no, you can't play baseball. I don't want to catch you playing baseball or shit like that, you know? See? And this scene really shows how that he's only misguided. Oh, Chloe, if only you were here, you'd know what to do. He doesn't know how to handle Chicken Little because that's not really his thing. So yes, he's not a fantastic father. He's not the best father, but he's still trying. He's trying his best with what he has. I think that's the end of that. Yeah, so I want to skip to 28:55. Where is that? Here we go. So, this is right after the baseball game. After Chicken Little wins the baseball game. Look how proud. Let's see how proud. I'm going to turn up the volume just a little bit because I want to actually hear something.
It's going. He rounds first, then on to second.
Look.
He flies past third and heads for the bleed.
Look at that. Look how excited they are.
It's gonna be close. He is safe.
Look at that.
Yes.
They're both so proud of the win in baseball. That seems like genuine father son bonding right there. I mean, come on, look at that.
The whole sky is full.
We need.
You think? Good talk. Hit me, Bond.
Thanks.
Okay, and then this shit happens. I have a note for 36:55. Ah, here it is. Yes, this part.
You gotta be ready.
You got to be ready to listen to your children, even if they have nothing to say. I mean, that's just being a father. You listen to your children even if they have nothing to say. I don't know. I don't know how that makes him a bad father. Saberspark never explains how that makes Buck a bad father. Okay. So my next note is 53:50. Let's see here. Oh. So this is after the whole thing with the aliens in the cornfields. Chicken Little goes up on the church or the school or the town hall or whatever, rings the bell again. Everybody misses out on the alien sighting. And so now he's getting he's embarrassed again, but he's getting hate mail. He has to now he has to deal with calls from everybody in town, hate mail from everybody in town. I mean, his inbox gets full of hate mail in a matter of seconds of the scene.
What are you saying, sir?
The scene playing out. Look. So clearly for at least few minutes or maybe 30 minutes to an hour or something in universe time, he's been getting hate mail. Or for maybe for day or maybe for hours after, directly after the incident. I mean, he has to deal with this every time Chicken Little pulls a stunt. So you can see why why it's understandable as to why, you know, this happens. When this happens, he's not rushing to defend he's not rushing to what's the word he's not rushing to support Chicken Little, which, I mean, all fathers should support their children, but his child is causing so much strife, and it's a difficult situation for Buck to handle. So he's trying to support his son without making things worse. That's how I'd put it. So I want to jump to 57:30. In this scene,
Get in the car. We gotta go.
No, wait, Dad. I
Buck
something.
is
I know.
Buck. Not only does he admit that Chicken Little was right after the aliens start invading, and they start raining down their ships upon Earth, but he's also trying to hurry him into the car and get him to safety. A good father always tries to protect his children, especially a child that over the course of this movie has been disappointing him, and causing a lot of trouble for the town.
Right, alien invasion. I see that rescue
Dad,
mission.
you see, this alien kid was.
What? Son, come
Look
back.
at him. He feels so bad. He feels so
What are you doing
terrible.
anyway? Son,
He wants to protect his child.
Chicken Little.
Mr. Croc! Wait! He's telling the truth!
And this goes right into the next point I'm making. Given his track record, we understand why you don't believe him.
His track record, we understand why you don't believe it.
That should be proof enough. I mean, come on. He doesn't believe Chicken Little because Chicken Little has a track record of making absurd claims and causing so much trouble without actually any proof, without showing any proof. And yeah, it may not be Chicken Little's fault, but still, there is a valid reason why Buck doesn't believe his son. Let's see here. 59:45. The talk. The scene that Saberspark said was devoid. What was it? He said something about. I can't remember what he said about it. Resolution is just as empty and meaningless as this entire movie. Absolutely. So the reason why I hate Saberspark saying that is because this scene is actual character development here.
The sky fell, and not the ball field.
And it's not a lot of character development, but it's the little push that Buck needed to realize that he should be there 100% for his son.
And certainly not now.
This is good. Keep going. Keep going.
You've been ashamed of me ever since the acorn thing happened, and we have to talk about it because modern Mallard says avoiding closure can lead to molting, and I'm already small, and on top of that, I don't think I could handle being bald.
I didn't realize, son. I never meant to. Yeah, the acorn, the sky, I mean the whole. You're right. You're right. Your mom, she was, you know, she was always good with stuff like this. Me, I'm going to need a lot of work. But you need to know that I love you, no matter what. And I'm sorry And I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like that was something you had to earn.
And that's why Saberspark was wrong about Buck's intentions. Buck truly loves his child. His love was not conditional, like Saberspark said. And yes, his actions may sometimes make it feel that his love is conditional, but deep down, Buck loves Chicken Little. And Saberspark did not actually watch this movie. I can tell. Whoever wrote Saberspark's script, whether it was Saberspark himself or some other person, they did not actually watch the movie. I don't think anybody who says Buck is a terrible father did not watch the movie. Now, I don't have it on my timestamp, even though I should, but from this point forward,
Plan D!
Buck is 100% with is 100% with Chicken Little. He's there helping Chicken Little stop the alien invasion. He goes along with his plans. Because he realizes that in some way he was wrong and that he should have 100% been there for Chicken Little. So, yeah, Buck is actually the opposite of a terrible father, and Saberspark is a wrong little furry now, apparently. I haven't watched Saberspark in forever, ever since I learned that his content is kind of clickbaity, but wow, furry. Not judging, just okie dokie. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have to say. Fuck Saberspark, and he's wrong, and I'm right, and you should totally subscribe, because I'm always right. I've always been right, and I'll always be right, because I am the smartest person in the world. I am big brain. I am I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Okay. Anyways, I'm not editing this video. I'm not gonna edit anything out. If I get from if I get copyrighted, I'll just figure out a way around it. I don't know. Peace.